Hey, how you doing? Been a while, I know. So, get to it here. Start off with this object right here. This is from February, uh, actually February 21st. It's 1 second at 98 millimeters, right? And I had no idea this thing was here. I'll show you how I got a photograph of it. This thing was right off the edge of my porch, apparently. Now, right there is the that dark area on the right-hand side, running right down through that object right there is the edge of a canvas that I have secured out there to keep light and wind and this, that, and the other off my artwork or whatever that I'm working on when I'm out there. So this thing has got itself positioned right along this edge of this canvas here, and this is about 3 feet away, this canvas. So this is just on the other side of it, and it's just bending the light a little bit, or else this thing is on this side of the canvas. I hate to think that, because that would have made that thing about 2.5 feet away from me. And what happened was I was looking out the window, kind of bored. I saw light flashing, so I picked up the camera and just rattled off a few photographs. And this first photograph here, obviously I wasn't aimed exactly right at it, because all I was doing was pointing the camera in that direction. So this is only 98 millimeters for 1 second, and here you can see the airplane. This is what I was looking at, but I couldn't tell it was an airplane. Okay, and you can see the green light, the landing light, and the red light indicates which direction it's going. And here is that object again, and this is that canvas that I was talking about earlier. Okay, and this thing was right down here, down below this right here. And this is a matter of a few seconds. In other words, take a photograph, let it reset itself, take another photograph, reset, take another photograph. This thing was over here by the time I took a second photograph. So it was making a beeline to get away from the area, in my opinion. Now, these are enhanced, okay, really enhanced right here, so that you could see this object over here, because I couldn't see it in the photographs when I took them. I mean, I didn't even have a clue that thing was there. But when I did look at it at first, I thought, well, this would be a good one to show people that a lot of my other photographs are simply not airplanes out of focus, because this is an airplane and it's out of focus. And you can see the green and the red and the landing light very distinctly in these photographs. And you can tell right away that's an airplane, right? And there's that object again off to the right. So anyway, I don't know what that thing was doing outside my window there, but it was there. So another short video here. When you go zooming way out there to distance, if you're off just a hair, you miss the object that you're trying to photograph. So this is a little diddle bop here of something that was out there flinging around, and these are screen grabs of what you just saw, barely. Okay, no idea what this could be all about. But now I get to the main feature here. This is infrared, and I'm watching this thing immediately. I know this is not an airplane. You can see the broken light signature occasionally on it. In other words, sometimes it's round like that, and other times it's just all over the place as far as the light signature goes. So that's not an airplane. This thing's moving from my left to the right, out of the south to the north, and I'm clicking off pictures as this thing's flying along. Okay, because what happened was, a few minutes after these first couple photographs, the camera says, guess what? The memory card's full. I'm like, okay. So I kept tracking it, and lo and behold, the doggone thing stopped and started coming at me. And now I'm going like, this is getting a little bit too real here. So I just kept taking as many photographs as I could, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen next, to be honest with you. And I really, honestly don't know why I stopped taking pictures. I came inside, took the memory card out, put it in, looked at the photographs, went and told my son, well, I got some interesting photographs here. He's not interested. Put the card back in, go back outside, take a couple pictures, come back in. The memory card is telling me that the camera now thinks it's an hour ahead of where I was just a few minutes ago. So The camera apparently had a missing time event. I don't know if I did or not, but the camera apparently was affected in some kind of way. So I got to go back in and fix it. Now it's reading an hour ahead of what it's actually supposed to be doing. But anyway, back to the topic here. You can see two individual um, objects, for lack of a better term here. Actually, there's three. Uh, but I'll show you what I'm talking about here in these next photographs. Now, these are photographs that I took when it was going from the left to the right. So, I don't know what the heck this thing was, but it's flinging all over the place, obviously, right? And this just doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying? Here you got a green light right in the midst of all this, orange or red goings on here. So clearly that's not an airplane. Whatever that thing was just spinning like, what do they call those things that they use? Are they bolos or something like that? It's got the three balls on it with the rope in between them, and they throw those things and they spin through the air. And when they hit something, they just wrap around it and take it down. They're interesting uh, hunting device. But anyway, you can see this gap right here in this particular photograph. So, it's not a running light on an airplane or it constantly being on. So whatever this thing is just like puffing up as it goes and contracting and shutting off. And it just, I don't know, man, it was pretty wild. And this looks like, that image that I showed you earlier, a short little video there, was kind of crappy, but I think this might be the same object. There was stuff all over the place out there. I'm just showing you this here one because these photographs are all of the pretty much the same object, but there was more of them out there. That's the thing. I'll show you that here in a second. That's the same one. You see the three different segments of it, like the bolo that I was talking about, and it just spins on some type of an axis, and they come together and go apart as they're flying along. I mean, somebody had to make this thing, right? I don't know if that's three different ones or the same one just kind of dancing along. And if those other two parts come out of the same singular form or what in the world this thing is. But here you can see a couple different, distinct objects, I guess, there, that come apart and go back together again as it's flying along, as best I can tell. This is what I was talking about earlier. You see this movement here? This is not camera blur, okay? If it was, it would match this here. And this is an entirely different angle. This is this angle here, and this is this angle here. This object here was moving independent of whatever this thing was here. I saw this, and I'm not sure I saw that, to be honest with you. But these things are like, dancing around all over the place out there. So it was pretty cool. Images get a little better here. Just close up with that one on the bottom there. You can see how it's segmented. It's some kind of an object that expands and contracts. I mean, what no, somebody's got to sit around a factory somewhere, right? And if this thing is not alive, in other words, it didn't come from outer space or it didn't grow up out of the ground and now it's flying around like a cicada or something. If it isn't that, then somebody in some kind of a factory somewhere had to make these things. What did they make them for? I mean, what is this thing supposed to do? Impress human beings as it flies by? I mean, really. So, see that little vortex generator there, guy? And this puffs up down here on the bottom. I think it's the same one. I mean, these things were dancing and pirouetting all over the place. And you can see in that infrared, if you watch it close enough, you can see it change positions when it lights up. So I don't know if it's changing positions, honestly, or if there's three different ones, taking turns lighting up as it's flying along. So I don't know. But this is getting toward the end of when it was getting really close to me. This is the original photograph here. I'll rotate it a little bit here for perspective purposes. But you can see clearly the three different pieces, basically, that make this thing up. And man, what it is, I don't have a clue, but it was pretty neat. And this is the last photograph of it that I took. Like I said, I have no idea, to be honest with you, why I stopped taking photographs, because it was coming right at me. I just all of a sudden thought, well, I'm going to go see what this looks like. You know, I should have kept taking pictures. I know, my fault. But anyway, that's a pretty good one, I think, of whatever that is, I guess. So anyway, thanks for stopping by and having a look. Hope you'll like, share, and subscribe, all that kind of YouTubey stuff. And don't forget to hit that there little bell button up there, in case if you ever want to know, when a new one of these videos is coming out, because they're kind of rare at this stage of the game, but it might pick up a little bit here since it's getting to be nicer weather outside. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, having a look, and be sure to take care out there no matter what you're doing. Hopefully, we'll get to do this again sometime. Thanks again.